Hold on just a
We'll
second.
have a fight.
Well, just a minute. I've got to tell them too. Clint Wendell, Clint and I was very best friends with Joyce and Wendell. And for a long time, we spent hours and days, and our
Oh,
kids,
yeah, well.
Saturday nights.
Saturday night, all,
Always going out
went to
on
camp
Saturday
meeting, we went here, Joyce Wendell, Clint and I went a lot of places, did a lot of things together. And we was there when Wendell was saved, up in camp meeting, up in,
I didn't bring that all.
Big Lake one.
yeah, but he was saved up in Washington camp, and we was there.
Yeah.
And
Would you like to stay here with me? I wrote mine down. I might have lived, I don't know. But I'm
well, you ad lib, you
I
can
get
do it.
nervous, I don't.
If you need me, I'll stand with
Speaking
you.
out front. All right, we'll start. I was born September the 23rd, 1940 in Jonesport. Growing up, I didn't have a Christian home. My parents were good and they allowed me to attend church with all my friends. At that time, it was in the Reformed Baptist Church that I went to, which is now the Wesleyan Church. I attended the West Jonesport Elementary School because at that time we had two elementary schools in Jonesport and one high school. We came together in high school. That's how big the town was back then. It's a lot different now. There were two, as I said, there were two schools. My sophomore year of high school, I met my husband-to-be, which I didn't know it then, but after a while. After my graduation on June the 5th, 1958, we married on June the 7th, 1958. I got engaged my senior year. My family was home for my graduation. I had a sister at the time who lived in Ohio and another sister that lived out of town. So I planned to get married anyway, so we did it 2 days later so they could all be there. And my sister stood up with me. Let me see. I moved to Beals on the Mill Pond Road where I've been ever since. We lived in a little two-room house for about 1 year. No bathroom, no running water back then.
Yeah.
And then we moved over further on the Mill Pond Road, almost right outside where we live now. And we rented that house for 2-3 years, I think. Because I'd had two children while I was there. And then we had our house built. We moved into that. So I've always lived on the Mill Pond Road. All right, let's see. Okay, it was also the year the first bridge was built. I brought that in a little bit. It opened in August 1958. It was and is a blessing to have this bridge, and I really appreciate the new bridge we had. I wouldn't live over there, I don't think, without a bridge. And then I mentioned, you said that about the ferry boat. We used to go back and forth for a while till the bridge opened. We had to go back and forth on the ferry boat, and some of the wharfs only had a ladder. I believe one had steps, but if you had low tide and you had to go up the ladder, that was quite the thing, you know. And my sister had one of her kids when I was in high school, and I would go over and stay at night so to help her, and I'd have to go to school the next morning at the high school, and I remember it was in February. And 1 year, the ladder was kind of slippery. It was icy because it had been cold, and they let me out right down by, we call it George Beals, where the high school was, down behind there, so I didn't have walk far. But anyway, that was part of that. Our first son was born June the 8th, 1959, a year later. Our second one on October 16th, 62, and my third on November 29th, 1971. In November of 62, during special meetings, I received Jesus into my life, and I remember I had it in here, but I didn't put it back in. Ray Bowden was the evangelist at that time. Like she said, we had him for a week at least. And I became a member of the church. Reverend Stanley White was pastor then. He baptized me with Uncle Clifton assisting, as he had a handicap. He had a bad arms, I remember. The baptism was at the Sewell Field. They baptized in on the shore in the nice cold salt water. That's where he was. He was immersed. Yeah. So I wasn't baptized until a year later because back in 62 I had just had my second son, and then that was October. And then November was when I was converted. So it was late, so I was not baptized till later on. That's why. I became active in the choir, sang specials, duets and trios, and I said, no solos, never. Taught Sunday school, and I served church as a church clerk and served on the official board through the years. My husband, Wendell, became a Christian 10 years later. We enjoyed serving the Lord for many years together until his passing in August 11th, 2021, at 83 years old. I'm thankful I have the Lord in my life. He is sustaining me through this loss and bringing up a family also. That wasn't easy either. We had 63 years of married life. Also, I'm grateful for my church family, my friends, and my own family. I have them all around me for support. And we get together, us girls do, for coffee a lot during the weeks. Anyway, I'm happy to be here, and I thank you for having me.
And I was going to tell you, and nothing happens, in August, Clint and I will be married 65 years.
Skim the room. I'm gonna skim the room.